What's up, YouTube, man? Welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, man, my name is JR, and I did 10 years in the Georgia Department of Correction, man. And I share prison stories, man. I let y'all know what's going on while I was behind the walls. Now, this story today, man, is about the mob, man. When I hear people talking about, when I say about the mob, I'm talking about GF. And when I say GF, man, I'm not talking about Ghostface, man. I'm talking about the mob, man. They be screaming mob shit. Anybody could get it. These dudes is creating havoc in the chain gang, bro. It's also a street gang from Atlanta. It's said to be formed by people from New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina hit, when they moved to Atlanta, and a lot of guys from Atlanta. But I met a lot of mob dudes doing chain gang, bro, and a lot of them was from different city. You have dudes from like DC, and you have majority of dudes from Atlanta. They was screaming mob also. Now, when I hit the chain gang, when I was in Jackson, you had a lot of them in Jackson. And when I hit Riverbend, bro, they had kind of put them on lockdown, and the mob was on lockdown for like 6 years, bro. They was putting these people on lockdown. So what a lot of guys was doing, a lot of guys was turning to Muslim, a lot of guys was denouncing being mob just because they didn't want to go on lockdown because of how dangerous the mob was in the chain gang. They was getting it in with everybody, bro. Muslims, Crips, GDs, and they was going crazy. Yeah, because a lot of these dudes have a lot of time, bro. And I mentioned them in a couple of my stories as far as like county jail stories and like that. I had a couple dudes I was in the county jail with. There was mob, bro. But let's get into the story, man. This took place when I was at Riverbend. I had just got to Riverbend, man. I was pretty much fresh in the system. And it wasn't a lot of mob dudes, bro, but it was a lot, you know. And at this time, like I said, there was going on lockdown because of all the stuff that was happening with them and the Bloods and the GDs and the Crips. But these mob dudes that I knew at Riverbend, they was pretty much cool, man. It was cool with the Blood dudes and everything like that. Like I said, a lot of these guys was from the city, and a lot of these guys that came from like closed security camp, and they was pretty much trying to ride up under the radar, bro. They really wasn't trying to cause no type of problems to actually go back to these level 5s or to actually where the CERT team could label them, you know what I'm saying, as far as tag them as being GF. Because once you tag as being GF, bro, and you in the system, these folks gonna put you on lockdown, and they're gonna put you on lockdown because of your safety. So you had a lot of guys coming into the system, bro. They wasn't saying there was mobs, so when they come in, they pretty much be riding up under the radar. So one day, like I said, man, I'm at Riverbend. I knew a couple of them guys and stuff like that. So one day we just chilling in the dorm, man. We pretty much just ease back doing what we do. And I heard one of the guys, like in the dorm, like where my bunk was, I slept against the wall over to the side where these little windows be. These little windows is just like this, just like that, little slots in the windows. So I heard somebody up the way that was like, man, going down on the other side, man, it's going down on the other side. So I went to looking through the window, like a couple of guys who had windows. They went to looking through their windows, man, and all we seen was the police, a whole bunch of police, bro, running across. You looking across the yard all the way to the other building, but you could see the walk. All the police running down there, bro, running down there at the G building. I told y'all about G building, bro. It's real like gangland over there. A lot of them dorms be goddamn what you would call thunderdomes over there, bro. A lot of gang banging, all that type of stuff. So everybody was looking, man. The police stay in there for a long while, bro. Then we see medical running there. Once you see medical running now, you know it was something serious, bro. Medical, you seen the warden. The warden actually was walking down there, big fat dude, bro. He was walking so slow, walking like this the whole time with his radio in his hand. So everybody in my dorm, they were pretty much glued, bro, because especially the gang members and people who are associated with different organizations, let's say Muslims or G's and all of them, they looking because they want to see like who's coming out. If they could spot who's coming out, they'll figure out what's going on, who done got into it, or what done took place for all these police to be running down there, bro. Like I said, when it was a whole lot, bro. CERT team, regular officers. The officer from my building, she ran out. We seen her running across the yard with her little self, her little short self. By the time she reached the middle of the yard, bro, she stopped like this, tried to take a breather, and goddamn continue right across the yard, because you know you have a gate that you enter the yard, and you got a gate over there that you can enter from that side. So a lot of the officers from this side that was working over here who got the 1010 call, they ran across the yard. Ran from H building, ran from I building, ran from J building. So guys was glued to the window. And I heard somebody was like, man, I think it's that mob nigga, man. I think it's that mob nigga. I was like, what? So I was looking. And I didn't know this dude, man, but I kind of seen him on compound like that. A lot of times when we go to the yard, you could tell he was a real light-skinned dude, high yellow type of dude, man. He was the first one that was brought out. And when he was brought out, man, you could tell from a far, far distance, bro, you could tell that something crazy done happened. And they waiting for the other guys to come out. And next thing you know, they brought somebody out on a stretcher, bro. Running them up the walk. So everybody was like, man, who that is on the stretcher? You had some guys in the dawn, like, they finna hit over there. I remember one of the blood dudes, he was telling one of his homies, like, man, I'm finna call over there, see what's going on. I guess he had called, because I hear him saying, like, man, ain't nobody picking up. It's going straight to voicemail. Of course ain't nobody picking up, because it was hot over there, bro. Old police, all the police on the compound was over there, bro, except for the officers that's in the booth. So you know it was something serious. Anyways, they brought out one of the other guys. I think one of the blood dudes in the dawn, he was like, man, that's that blood right there, man. That's a West Coast homie right there. And that's when you knew it was something that had to do with the GF and the goddamn and the Bloods. And mind you, it was a GF dude in my dome, Don. You know what I'm saying? Don was alright. He was pretty cool, tattoos all over his face and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was pretty reserved though. You know what I'm saying? He used to be loud, talking crazy and stuff like that. But as far as like fighting and violence and stuff, like, nah, bro, would just be on the females when they come in, be doing this little hustle and stuff like that. And I knew it was two more GF dudes that was in IC, and I think one was in like D. So you always see them click up when they go to chow, and that's where you know like who is who and what is what as far as chain gang, bro. Just look up the groups that they walk into. You most likely could tell 90% of the time if they associated with that gang or with that crew. So anyways, I looked around. When they said GF, I was looking around. I was looking for Don. He was sitting over there by the bathroom area. You feel me? I guess I don't know if he knew something was going on or what, but he was sitting over there by the bathroom area, kind of like posted up, just watching the whole dome. But then it was like three blood dudes in my dome. And then when I see one of the Muslim dudes, he went over there. He was from the city too. You know what I'm saying? I guess him and Don was from the same neighborhood. But people used to say that this Muslim dude used to be GF. And what he did, he actually had done turned Muslim, you know what I'm saying, just to avoid going on lockdown and stuff like that. But him and Don, they was real tight, as with the other GF dudes in the building. Because sometimes when they go on the chow, you see him walking with them, but he always have his kufi on. So anyways, bro, he went over there talking to Don and stuff like that. And I seen Don looking at the blood dudes, you know what I'm saying? So one of the bloods in the Don, he started goddamn, you know what I'm saying, strapping up. So I was like, man, what the heck? This dude ain't too tall as hell, man. Too tall with the strapping up. The other blood dude, they went to strapping up, you know what I'm saying? Don, he was already strapped up though. So I'm like, damn, man, it's gonna go crazy in here. You know what I'm saying? It's three of them and Don pretty much by himself. But what it was looking like right now, it was looking like this Muslim dude wanted to ride with Don. But one of the Dom Amir, the Muslim dude in the Dom, he went to calling the Muslim cat. He's like, hey, Ak, come here, Ak. So he was like, nah, man, chill, hold on, brother. I'm talking to the homie right here. He's like, hey, Ak, come here. You know what I'm saying? The Muslim dude went over there. You could tell they were talking to him real stern as far as like, what you gonna do, Ak? You know what I'm saying? This ain't really our problem. This is GF and blood business. But with you putting yourself over there in the mix, talking to Don at this time, you pretty much letting folks know that you probably finna ride with Don. So anyways, bro, everything was going smooth or whatever. We end up going to lunch, bro. And when we went to lunch, you know, everybody was pretty much talking, bro. As soon as we went out the door, you know, all the GF dudes, they pretty much kind of like, now dudes that was in like in C Dome and B Dome, they ain't really know that something that went on. They ain't really know that. You had guys kind of talking in the window, showing sign language in the window, letting folks know that something that happened across the way, but they didn't know as far as everything go, as far as we did in goddamn A Dome. So anyways, bro, we got there and go to chow and stuff like that. I'm on 10, you know what I'm saying? I'm already alert. I'm like, man, it feel crazy out here. You can feel the tension on the walk. We go to chow, we eat and stuff like that while we eat. I think it was E-Building that was at chow from the other side. So you had guys talking, and that's when you hear all the guys like, yeah, man, they're gonna goddamn pop on the little mob dude, you know what I'm saying? But bro was already ready. That's what they was saying. Bro had to end up pouring one of the blood dudes out, even though they did get on top of his head too, but he did some damage. So everybody was like, man, what it really started over. they was like, they don't know, and stuff like that. So anyways, bro, we ate. Police kind of ran everybody back off the fence, off the walk. They was like, hey man, everybody line up, man, back to the dorm, back to the dorm. They knew it done popped, so they trying to run everything in order, bro. They deep on the walk. They standing up like every 10 feet on the walk, bro. They standing up. They leaving just this much space for you to walk against the fence. You know what I'm saying? You had to walk in single file line, so they been trying to make sure that nobody don't really pop nothing off on the walk like that. So anyways, bro, we went back to the dorm, you know what I'm saying? Went back in the dorm, and that's why Don, we went back in the dorm. Don, he looked like he was more on edge, bro. He was more on edge. He like this. At one time, I seen him went to the window. He talking to one of the GF dudes over in C dorm. They're doing sign language and stuff like that. But could definitely tell that the tension was in the air. The blood dudes in the dorm, they back there and they look cut like this. You know what I'm saying? Still strapped up and everything, bro. So I'm like, man, I hope this don't really pop off. You know, sometimes you like, damn, what's really causing all this? Why are they finna pop and go crazy like that? And I was like, man, we just gonna chill and see what's going on. That's when one of my partners, he pulled up and he's like, boy, I think them folks finna goddamn pop on them GFs. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why you say that? He's like, bro, I done heard when the blood dudes in C-Dorm, he was like, man, they finna goddamn eat. You know what I'm saying? Because one of they homie got poured out over there, even though the GF dude on the other side, he got poured out too. But like I said, bro, did create some damage. And one thing you know about a lot of time with the Bloods, not all of them, bro, they don't like to take losers like that, bro. They really don't. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. They got the numbers game, so they'll play the numbers game. They don't like to take no L. So anyways, bro, as the day go by, you know, everybody pretty much on alert, bro. You know what I'm saying? The Muslims, they was pretty much talking to their ox, trying to tell him to stay out the way of what's going on and stuff like that, bro. So anyways, bro, these people end up calling yard. They called 2 o'clock yard. We went to the yard. When we went to the yard, like I said, they didn't run nothing from the other side, bro. They pretty much kept the other side. They kept them in. You know what I'm saying? What they did, they kept all these dorms on this side. They kept us separated. Usually they open all the gates to the 3 sides. So some dudes in J building or H building, they could come and play soccer in the middle and stuff like that. And then guys who's in I building in the middle, like where I was, they opened the other gate so they could go play basketball, because it wasn't no basketball court in the middle. All it was like a soccer field, a volleyball court, a little bathroom area, and a track that you could walk around. So a lot of the guys was like, man, come on, man, we finna play ball, man. Now everybody want to play no damn soccer. You know what I'm saying? People complain to the police, and they were like, man, we ain't trying to hear it. If you want to go in the middle of the yard, man, take your ass back in the dorm. That's pretty much how they was. You know what I'm saying? They was running this yard real control. A lot of officers was out there. And like I said, you seen the blood guys. As soon as we go out there, they get to go into the fence. Some of them go over to the fence right there talking to the Bloods in H building. Some of them were over there talking to the Bloods in J building. And then they had a little meeting with all the Bloods that was in I building at the time. They had a little meeting on the yard. So I'm like, man, these folks is going crazy. And you can always tell when there's something about to happen, bro. Like I said, heavy tension on the yard. You know what I'm saying? Now, Don, he was out there. He was talking to, I guess, his people that was in H building. You know what I'm saying? Then you see him walking to the other side talking to his peoples over there in J building. And like I said, they wasn't deep on the compound or nothing like that, bro. Him and the rest of the guys, the mob dudes that was in IC, they was walking around the track after they finished politicking with their people. And I'm like, damn, I hope these folks really don't pop. So anyways, bro, we went back in the dorm. When we went back in the dorm, everybody chilling and stuff. They called standby for count. When they called standby for count, the lieutenant came in there. You know what I'm saying? I guess he was going from dorm to dorm, because when they called standby for count, guys was like, hey, LT on the floor, man. He going dorm to dorm, man. He going dorm to dorm. I guess LT was going around giving a little speech about the whole situation that took place. By now, everybody pretty much knew what happened, bro. So when he came in our dorm, he's like, hey, man, what's up, fellas? Everybody was like, he's like, look, man, y'all just be easy. Y'all be calm, man. I'm sure y'all heard about the incident, all this. He's like, man, don't let it spill over to here, man. Let what happened over there stay over there, or whatever like that. So a lot of guys in the dorm, they were like, yeah, LT, man, we agree, man. We ain't trying to go on lockdown and all this type of stuff like that. But like I said, you could see it in the Bloods, and you could see it in Don's eyes. They were pretty much ready to go to war, bro. You could see it in their eyes. Anyways, bro, after LT, they finished count. LT done gave his little speech. He was in the boot for a minute, you know what I'm saying? Don went to posting up right back over the bathroom area where it's pretty much open. He could see everything that's going on around him. If somebody pulling up on him, try to swirl him or something like that, he could see. So anyways, LT was in the booth for a minute. He ended up leaving and stuff like that. And when he ended up leaving, bro, next thing I know, probably about 15 minutes after that, bro, we just see the door. Like, I'm chilling in the dorm, bro. I seen Don, because I'm kept my eyes on Don. I'm looking at all time, like, what's going on in the dorm. Don was the first person I seen that made a crazy look, like, you know what I'm saying, like this. When he did that, I kind of looked outside where he was looking. It's a whole bunch of officers running in, bro. And guess where they're running? They're running over there to C-Dorm, bro. They run over there to C-Dorm. So everybody like, man, what the hell going on? Don tried to get on point. You know what I'm saying? Don tried to get on point. He done whipped out the tool and everything. He had the tool. So the first person away they pull out a blood dude, man, from next door. So Don, like I said, Don pulled out, bro. The blood dudes from the back of the dorm, they pull up. So Don like, shit, man, what's up, man? What's up? Let's do it. Mob shit, nigga. You know what it is, then? This the mob, nigga. Anybody get it, bro. Anybody could get it. That's all he kept saying, bro. And the blood dudes, they kind of hesitant. All three of these dudes had tools, bro. All three of them had tools, but they were kind of hesitant, bro. So I guess the police, I don't know if they got a whiff of what's going on, because one of the blood dudes that came out, he came around. He was in handcuffs. He came around to the window like this. I guess one of the police, and he was like, pop, man, pop, blah. He kept saying that, you know what I'm saying, trying to tell them folks to pop on Don in the dorm. You feel me? By then I look, they bringing out the two GF dudes in the dorm, out the dorm, out C-Dorm, and you could hear them yelling, mob shit, nigga. You know what time it is, nigga? Mob shit, nigga. Everybody get it, nigga. And I'm like, God damn. So Don, he posted up. These dudes done ran down on Don, bro. All three of them ran down on Don by the door. When they running out on Don, you see the LT, the same LT who had came down there for count. He came running around, bro, tried to open the door, but the officer in the booth, I guess her eyes was somewhere else. She ain't paying attention to him. And these dudes done ran down on Don, bro. The first dude ran down on Don. Nigga, Don and hit him. Boom. When Don hit him, I ain't gonna lie, the other two came from the side. They were pretty much solid dudes. They was in shape. All them dudes used to play basketball and all type of stuff. As a matter of fact, one of the blood dudes, he used to be out there playing soccer with us, bro. And he was pretty athletic, you know what I'm saying? So by the time Don had done hit one arm, boom. Them folk came from the side. They went to hit Don. I ain't gonna lie, boy. They went to hit him. Boom, boom. But Don stayed on his feet. Boy. He just went like this. He fighting with this hand. He trying to hit with this hand. But like I said, these people had the upper hand on Don, bro. So they went to hit him up. You know what I'm saying? He probably got hit about 15 times before LT came in there. When LT came in there, he like, man, get off on him. He just pulled out the can of spray and went to psh, like he spraying a bear. Y'all know them big old cans of spray, them bear cans? Yeah, one of them. He went to spraying. And the Muslim dude now, the op that I told you that they said he used to be mob and stuff like that, he was in the back. He like this, itching. One of the Muslim brother kind of held him like this, had his arms around his arm like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, op, don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that to us. Don't put us in that. You feel me? Police came in there. They're putting everybody on the floor. So you hear dudes in B building, in B dorm and D dorm, they beating on the window. Boom, blood shit, blue, blue, blue. And you still had the mob guys outside. Mob shit, nigga. Anybody get it? But they was in cuffs. You know what I'm saying? By this time, they done pulled out a whole bunch more blood dudes out of C-Dorm. Because I guess they went to brawling in there. Bro. They had them sitting on the other side of the rotunda. You know, the boots sit in the middle. They on the other side. The mob dude, he had them got up. They put them over here. They put the two mob dudes over here. They had the bloods over on the other side so they could control the situation. Now, when they pulled Don out, you know what I'm saying? They put him right there where the mob dude was. So you had the LT, y'all come here. Because the blood dudes, they got sprayed and they went to walking all over the place. One dude, he went to the water fountain, went to putting water all in the eyes. I'm like, man, I know that shit hurt, boy. You know what I'm saying? I done been sprayed before, bro. I know that shit hurt. That shit burnt the hell out you, bro. So he went over there, boom, boom. Police run over there, they snatch him off. You know what I'm saying? When the other blood dudes, he tried to run there by his bunk. They ran right back there, snatched him up. They pretty much knew, LT knew all the faces that was involved because they was right there. Bro, it was a big old plexiglass that he was looking through right when the shit was popping off. He just couldn't get in the door at the time, bro. If he had got in the door before that, Don probably wouldn't have got hit up like 15 times, bro. He probably didn't get hit probably about 5 or 6 times. But that one little second or so back that the officer in the booth wasn't really paying attention to the LT, that's all the time that they needed to inflict the damage that they did. You You know what I'm saying? So like I said, you hear these dudes, they out there the whole time, bro. One of them leaking from the head, you know what I'm saying? The other one, his face was busted up, but they was still screaming, mob shit, nigga. Anybody could get it, nigga. Anybody could get it. Mob shit, mob shit. Like I said, it was a whole bunch of officers down there, bro. Whole bunch of officers. They like, man, y'all going on lockdown or whatever like that now. Lockdown in the open dome is, you know what I'm saying? It's really not lockdown, bro. But you just not going outside. You're not going to chow or nothing like that. They bring the food to you. You know, you can't really go to the yard, but it ain't like you in the cell house where you locked behind the doors. It's a little bit more smooth when it comes to lockdown as far as being in the open dome. Now, they took a while, bro, before they sorted all this issue out, bro. Like I said, it was a whole bunch of blood on the floor out here. Blood leading out to the salad port and stuff like that. Blood in the salad port. And they ended up starting moving these dudes out. Medical came down there. They was out there assisting Don or whatever. They put him in a little wheelchair, push him off. You know what I'm saying? The other two mob dudes, they walk with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, one of them, he was leaking from the head. He got hit like a couple times in his head, but he was pretty much good. When medical came down there, I guess they was looking at the wounds and stuff and decided that he was good to walk to medical. But Don needed to be pushed in a wheelchair. And like I said, they wheeled him off. And that's when they took all the blood dudes, bro. They ended up moving like 8 of them dudes out the dome, bro. You know what I'm saying? They coming out. They so woo. They doing all that. They doing all that type of stuff. The other bloods in the window, like the other bloods in B and D dorm, they in the window like this. You know what I'm saying? They throwing up the B's. They doing all type of stuff. They beating the window. Say blood this. Say blood that. All that type of stuff going on, bro. And that's was one of my, not really my first incident as far as the mob go, because I seen the mob get down in Jackson before, you know what I'm saying? But it was the second time I seen them really get busy like that. And like I said, majority of the mob, bro, was on lockdown doing in all the level 5s, like on the TER program and stuff like that, because of how much havoc they was creating in the chain gang, bro. And like I said, that's the mob, bro. GF, not Ghostface. Goodfellas, man. That's the story on the mob, man. I will be getting y'all with more mob stories, man. I appreciate y'all checking out the channel, man. A lot of love, a lot of peace, a lot of respect, man.